Hello everyone. Brainjar was advertised on the poster, but unfortunately his flight got delayed, so you're stuck with me for the next 20 minutes. Today I'm going to be speaking about Composable, why we're building in the Cosmos ecosystem, what we're building in the Cosmos ecosystem, and also a little bit on our short-term roadmap in the next quarter. My name is Jafar, and I'm a developer at Composable. Go to the next slide. So yeah, for those of you who don't know what Composable is, our mission is to build the interoperable infrastructure for cross-chain applications. Now, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're focusing on extending IBC to other blockchains outside of the Cosmos. We already have this live. And our mission is to allow users to interact with any money, any chain, on anywhere, right? In order for us to achieve mass adoption, as Charles said, we need better user experience for our application. And our infrastructure is sort of leveraging IBC to allow developers to build applications with the most superior user experience. So we have Picasso, which is, we have 3 chains in total. We have Picasso, which is our Kusama chain, Composable, our Polkadot chain, and we also have the Composable Cosmos chain. Picasso sort of focuses on cross-chain DeFi. We're also going to be working on something with liquid staking in the near future. And with Composable, that's focusing on the Composable VM, and we're looking to build it as a restaking layer 2. Next slide. So yeah, Nedan Cosmos. Why are we building in the Cosmos ecosystem? The main answer to that is essentially IBC and also the components which complement IBC, like Cosmosm. So if you look into the current state of bridging in the ecosystem, there's a lack of trust minimized bridges as a whole, right? IBC is the first bridging framework that has been designed for any underlying consensus mechanism to bridge in a trust minimized manner. So if you go to the Ethereum space or even any other blockchain, besides Polkadot's XCMP, so the only way you could use Polkadot's trust minimized bridge is if you're tied to the Polkadot relay chain. Whereas IBC, you can use it on any monolithic chain. There's also a lack of composability amongst bridges. So when bridges came out in 2021, most of them just powered token transfers. IBC, Mary sort of covered a lot of what IBC does, so I don't want to go into too much detail, but IBC powers token transfers, arbitrary data, cross-chain contracts, so a whole load of functionality that current bridges don't supply, and it's all in a trust minimized manner. So as you can see from the screenshots, since 2020, there's been over 2 billion in hacks, and they are mainly as a result of cross-chain bridges, right? So if we want to get to a stage where we have institutional adoption, retail adoption, mass adoption as a whole, we can't have these sort of trusted infrastructure plaguing the space. We need IBC everywhere, and this is something that we're pioneering. There's a complicated onboarding and user experience, so we're still working on this in IBC. Skip are doing some really cool things. IBC Path Unwinding that they're releasing. They're also building a lot of other tools to support this. But essentially, this goes back to the whole digital user intentions in the digital world, right? If we want everybody's grandma and grandpa to be using applications that are powered by decentralized networks, we need to find the most superior user experience. So this is something that we're prioritizing. The next slide. So what we're building in the Cosmos ecosystem. There's some components missing from this because it was poorly designed by yours truly. But essentially, IBC was implemented only in the Cosmos ecosystem. It supported Cosmos SDK chains with the Tenement consensus. And there has been no team other than us to actually implement this outside of Cosmos. So we have this live on Polkadot and Kusama now, and we're also launching on Ethereum testnet very soon. So on the left side, you see Cosmos SDK chains, which sort of goes through our Composable Cosmos chain. This serves as an intermediary. The next slide probably has a better diagram. But we're working on extending IBC to multiple layer 1s. This is just the most important thing out there because bridging is a fundamental factor to actually bring in liquidity, users, and user experiences. In the next slide. So what we've achieved so far. So after 1.5 years of developing this trust minimized bridge, IBC to Polkadot, we finally got it live in June. This is as a result of efforts from multiple teams. So the ICF, Informal, Notional, shout out to them. We've also created the first non-Cosmos working IBC relayer. And as a result, we also had to push a new Azam client in production. So our Cosmos SDK chain is the only sort of chain that powers non-Cosmos IBC connections. Another thing that I'd like to mention is that we launched the first Kusama Polkadot bridge. So in the Polkadot ecosystem, you have the Polkadot relay chain and the Kusama relay chain. Till this day, Parity haven't developed a trust minimized bridge between these chains, and we've developed this with IBC. So now the 40 plus parachains in Kusama and 40 parachains in Polkadot can connect to each other via IBC. So it's pretty cool that, Cosmos stack is powering the Polkadot network. So as you can see from this diagram, sort of the composable chain serves as an IBC hub, right? So the Cosmos ecosystem is all on the left-hand side. We're working on getting Ethereum on testnet very soon. And of course, Kusama and Polkadot at the bottom. Solana is one of the chains that we're working on connecting IBC to as well. Now I mentioned this is the bridging part, right? Bridging at the end of the day is not the end goal for what we want our users to do. Bridging should be done in the back end. The sort of bridging process of, hey, I want to go to a bridge and send these tokens from chain A to chain B should be abstracted away to provide a better user experience, right? And this is what we're doing with the Composable Virtual Machine. So if you're familiar with the interchain accounts in the Cosmos ecosystem, you could think of this as an extension of interchain accounts to other ecosystems. So because we're not really implementing interchain accounts on Ethereum and Polkadot, we're using the Composable Virtual Machine to provide this functionality. So an example could be, hey, I'm on SushiSwap, I want to make a trade, but the pool that I want is on Osmosis, right? So you could basically say, take my tokens from SushiSwap on Ethereum, take it to Osmosis, make the swap, and then bring your funds back all in one transaction. So the idea is users carry out their intentions without worrying how the bridge is actually being used and what bridge is using, because IBC will be everywhere. Now, how we're doing the Composable Virtual Machine. So we actually launched the first instance of Cosmosm outside of Picasso. This was talked about earlier by Ms. Sang, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. This existing Cosmosm projects can also deploy on the Polkadot ecosystem now, so you can gain access to a whole load of users and liquidity from the Polkadot ecosystem. A cool thing I just mentioned is you could port the XCM interpreter to Cosmosm. This would basically allow XCM messages to run over IBC. So we have the Kusama Polkadot bridge. You can basically have an XCM message from Polkadot sent to Kusama and interact with another chain. Multi-domain auctions and settlement over IBC. Make sure you attend our talk on Wednesday, 3 p.m., which will go into more detail about this. But essentially, the Composable Virtual Machine is going to be powering all of these user intentions. And Brainjar will be giving that talk. Make sure you set a reminder, 3 p.m. Wednesday. I made this slide just to give a shout out to the front end team at the back. So they've been doing the grunt of the work from this IBC connection. So because IBC has only been designed and implemented in the Cosmos, a lot of the tools around it was only designed to serve Cosmos SDK chains. So we're having to sort of build these tools from the ground up. And one of them is a cross-chain block explorer. So right now there exists no explorer which could support Polkadot, Ethereum, Cosmos all in one. So this explorer is basically the home for, hey, I want to see where all my transactions are on chain. You could basically see a multi-hop transaction from Ethereum going all the way to Polkadot. And this will be shown in a very cool manner because our head of design, Miguel, has spent a lot of time on this. So a little bit about our roadmap in the next quarter. So this slide sort of goes over the architecture of how we're implementing IBC on Ethereum. I'm going to start on the left-hand side with Ethereum. So we have the Tenement Light client as a contract, the IBC implementation in Solidity, and we also have a verifier on chain. So the reason why we have a verifier in this Ethereum architecture is because it would be too expensive to actually verify 100 signatures of the validators from our Cosmos chain. So the prover submits a proof to the verifier, which is basically a succinct proof of the light client updates from the Composable Cosmos chain. And it outputs ICS-20 transfers, which are basically ERC-20 compliant tokens. There's also this is the Composable Cosmos chain on the other side. Hyperspace is separate because the hyperspace and the prover are both off-chain components. They can be run by anyone here, anyone in the world. And the Composable Cosmos chain has the Wasm client and of course the Ethereum client. So it's like sort of the Casper-like client of the Ethereum beacon chain, which you could say. So it's important to note that the Casper-like client relies on the sync committee. So the sync committee is sort of a succinct way of getting a subset of signatures of the Ethereum protocol. So it relies on 512 validators, which are selected randomly, and they change every single day. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but we launched a proposal to sort of take the Composable Cosmos chain within the Azam economic zone. So what would this mean? Essentially, we need our bridge to be the most secure way possible, and the best security implementation that's now until maybe mesh security launches is that we need it to be secure. So as a result, we're going to be providing a portion of bridging fees to the Azam validator set and stakers. In return, we will take interchain security from the Cosmos Hub. So if you're a validator or if you take part in Cosmos governance and you want to know more, I'm happy to convince you, and please vote for us. So a little bit about our roadmap. So we're launching an ambassador program very soon. If you want to get involved, reach out to me. We're going to be speaking more about this on our stage, on our main stage talk on Wednesday at 3 p.m. IBC to Ethereum mainnet. This is something we plan to launch this quarter as well. The Composable Virtual Machine V0. So we already have this live between Polkadot and Osmosis on testnet. So you can now, we've actually run a cross-chain contract from our parachain to Osmosis on testnet. We're now working on doing this to Ethereum as well. ICS integration, pending you guys voting yes. This is something that we plan to do this quarter as well. IBC to question mark. This is another sort of extension of IBC that we plan to do this year. So 2023 will be the year where IBC is implemented in 4 new ecosystems, and this is all being pioneered by Composable. Mantis V0, so you might not have heard of Mantis before, and I don't have enough time to go over it, but if you're at Brainjaw's talk on Wednesday, you'll hear all about it. So make sure you set your reminders. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, do we have any question? Thank you, Jafar. Yes, we have.
I was hoping.
Very good presentation. So I have a question. So for example, USDC is now launched natively through Noble, right? And what if in the case of Composable actually supporting USDC, say on Ethereum, would that create a conflict, or is there some mechanism that you need to create to make sure that it's seamless, or is all baked into the code? Yeah, thanks.
I don't think that's possible. So if you were to bridge USDC from Noble to Ethereum, it wouldn't be the same standard as the USDC on Ethereum. It would be IBC USDC from Noble on Ethereum.
So thank you, Jafar.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.